I'm Jeff Smith. I wrote the book Looking for Love in Thailand. I have gone to Thailand many times, and now that I am spending more time in Thailand, obviously not today because I wouldn't be in a turtleneck. I'm back in California visiting my sons, but I spent a lot of time in Thailand, and as I've spent more time over there looking to eventually be over there full time, I've started looking for a woman to share my time with. And I love Thai women compared to what we have in the West. They're so loving and kind. They still like men too. It's not I that's bad. I apologize to Western women. They're all not that bad, but on the dating sites and the people that older men come in contact with, they tend to be a little set in their ways and a little difficult. That's not the case when it's in Thailand. They're very easy to get along with. They're very beautiful. They age very well. They have a very youthful spirit. This is a continuation of the book in ways to meet regular Thai women to date, maybe eventually marry, and maybe be the mother of your children. But couple of cautionary words with all of the information that's available on YouTube about all of the relationships that went sour and all of the men that lost so much money. And when you look at them, it's not, everyone blames, oh, those bar girls, oh, those Thai women, whatever. And it's not the Thai women always. Yes, they do take advantage sometimes, and there are stories that men have lost substantial amounts of money, their dignity, and a lot of other things. I shouldn't laugh, that's sad. But in a lot of cases, it's not so much the Thai girls, it's the Western men trying to fit the wrong girl in the wrong place. Now, let me ask you this. In the West, whether you're in America, UK, Austria, or whatever, or Australia, if you were looking for a girl to date, a girl that you may want to marry and be the mother of your children, would you go to a strip club or a brothel or look for ladies walking along the street? Probably not, right? You would want a quality woman. My father explained this to me when I was about 14 years old and first started thinking of dating. He said, son, he said, I love your mother. And he said, I don't want to see her upset. You better learn one thing. He said, as a young man, he said, you're prone to do things and be attracted to a certain kind of woman. He said, there are women that you go out with to sow your wild oats and hope for crop failure. And there are women that you go out with to bring home to meet your mama. And you better learn the difference between the two. Now, this was at a time when you could say things like that to a young man and you weren't criticized for it. But it's true, especially when going to Thailand. There are ladies in Thailand, if you are going for love, there are very nice, respectable, regular ladies in Thailand. They work at a job, at a bank, at a 7-Eleven, at a hotel, whatever. They have a normal life. Some have children. They're normal. It's like dating a normal person, but better. Then there are ladies, if you're going for love, that's the kind of lady you look for. If you're going for lust, they have thousands of girls that are more than happy to help you out with that situation. They're looking for money. They're willing to give you, their time. And that's the kind of woman you're going with if you want lust. Now, the problem that men run into in Thailand, the first one, is that they try to interchange them. Okay, they go and they think, I'll save some money. I won't go get a bar girl. I'll go get a normal girl, or a regular girl. Normal sounds so bad. A regular working girl that has a job, and I'll date her, and that will take care of my lust, and I'll save money. Okay, that's wrong on so many levels. These ladies that are in Thailand, it's not as easy as living in the West. We have high pay, we have vacations, we have sick leave, we have all of these things. We have if a woman meets a guy and she becomes pregnant, he leaves. Okay, there are ways that the government will help support her and track him down for support. And in a lot of countries, they don't have those things. So if a woman gets pregnant with a baby, whether she's married or not, he can leave, and pretty much she's going to raise a child by herself. And it's hard to see the situation that some of these ladies live and then see men come and take advantage of them and lie to them. Be honest. That's the first thing I have to say. Whether you're looking for love or lust, fess up to it and go in that direction. If you're looking for love, find a lovely lady that deserves your love, who's honest, who's not a gold digger, who's not going to ask you for money, and enjoy her. And, treat her with respect, be charming and nice, be a gentleman. If you're looking for lust, have at it. There's all, just follow the sound of from any bar women saying sexy man, just follow that voice, you'll find it. Okay. But this is about the men looking for love. You're looking for your next girlfriend. You're looking for your wife, maybe, or the mother of your children. Okay, first of all, don't look in bars. Don't look on Beach Road. You're not going to, there's always a stupid story in every family or in every group of friends. For anyone wanting to do something dumb, there's somebody who made it work, or they've heard of somebody, or they're related to somebody. You take any 15-year-old girl who wants to get married and to a 16-year-old boy, and they don't have a chance in hell of making it. But there was somebody in her family who got married at 13 and been married for 55 years, and he still brings her roses. Okay, there's always that person in the family or in a group of friends who made it work. Okay, there's always that guy you'll hear about that married a bar girl with a heart of gold, turned her into a pristine wife and mother. Okay, I have no doubt that that's happened. I've met some bar girls that probably they're very sweet, they're very honest. Um, they probably would make a very good wife or mother. But then again, I don't have time to find that out. I want to start off with somebody who's has the right profile going in before I invest a lot of time. So that's the thing. Don't try to put a round peg in a square hole. If a girl's a bar girl, treat her as a bar girl. I mean, treat her with respect, be nice and all that, but don't try to make her your girlfriend or wife. Okay, I know they're very charming and very loving, and I'm not immune to that. I have met my fair share of ladies that work that way, and it's very easy to get attached to them because they're beautiful, they're very sweet, they're very caring. So realize, okay, that's a fantasy. That's not real. When you meet a real woman, be honest with her. Tell her what you do. If you're if you're a janitor, then say you're a janitor. If you're a trash man, you can jazz it up a little bit and say a sanitation engineer, but don't say that you're an airplane pilot. That's called lying, and that's not a good way to start a relationship. So, be honest and be upfront. Now, the way that you meet ladies, I've heard on YouTube so many goofy ways, and you kind of realize that with that advice, some of the advice they're giving, the guy probably hasn't been on a date, at least not many. The one thing I hear is go to the mall, go to the grocery store, go to the night market. Okay. When Thai women are at the mall, the grocery store, it's just like women here. It's usually after work or on the weekends when they have a very limited amount of time to do shopping and do their chores, to get back to the house, to maybe get a few minutes of relaxation in before they start the work week again. So basically, if you do, and I mean you can see many single, very attractive Thai women at the mall, at the grocery store. But the question is, are they really going to want to talk to you? They're trying to get their stuff done. They're trying to shop. And your conversation and your attempt to get their attention is looked at as somewhat bothersome. Okay? It's best to, and I was in sales for a long time, we call this prospecting, because prospecting and looking for dates is about the same thing. You're going to talk to a lot of women who don't say anything, don't respond, or say no before you get a yes. So you have to accept that. No, I don't care. Unless you're Brad Pitt, you're not going to get a yes from every woman you talk to. I've done okay in Thailand, but it is what it is. They don't all say yes, and some of them they're just so attractive, so sweet, and you have such a good conversation, you wish they would, but they don't. So, a better way, okay, the best way to find a dateable woman in Thailand is through mature Thai women, typically that are married and who love being a matchmaker. You tell any older Thai woman who's married that you're single, and they get this look on their face and they lighten up and they go, "Oh, you're single?" It's like this girl's single and that girl's single and Pa is single and all these, names, the Thai names. And they get excited. They love playing matchmaker. A lot of relationships with the guys I know have started because they went to a social event and an older Thai woman. When I say older, that's not like 100 years old, but a mature Thai woman, not a 18-year-old, um, realized that they were going to be at the event and wanted to play matchmaker. So they invited a lady that they knew who was unmarried and looking for a man, and they luckily hit it off. So that's an excellent way because you kind of have somebody vouching for that person. You know that if a Thai lady gets excited and about being a matchmaker, she's not gonna to match you up with somebody who's a gold digger or who has had problems in the lives to men. So that is by far the best way. So anytime you meet, a mature lady and talking to her, ask her if she's married, and that will lead to her asking, "Well, are you married?" "No, I'm single," and then it starts. So that's limited because you don't always have a mature Thai lady to ask, and some of them aren't in the mood to be a matchmaker when you talk to them. The second way is, meeting women in social or public places isn't a bad idea, but you have to know where. You go to the grocery store, they're busy. They're trying to get their shopping done and back to the house. So if you approach them, you're bothersome. On the other hand, if you look for situations like the bot bus or a regular bus or a ferry or a water taxi, whatever it is, public transportation, um, they're there, they're bored waiting for their stop, and your conversation will be looked at in a favorable way. So they will enjoy your conversation, they'll participate in your conversation, and it'll lessen the time it feels like they're spending. So learn to talk to strangers, learn what to say. The last time I was in Thailand, I was on the bot bus, and across me was a very pretty lady, she was like in her late 30s, early 40s. And she, I was looking for something to say because you have to get with the game. I mean, you can't go up to a woman who's a stranger and go, "You're pretty," or, "Oh, you smell good." I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend people in the South, but that always, I hear a guy, I even have heard guys go in a social situation and the woman will be very curvy and he'll look at her, her cleavage and say, "Are those real?" And it's like, oh my God, how long has it been since you've had a date? So you learn things to say. What I always do is I try to keep it non-personal. I don't say you have pretty eyes, you got pretty feet, whatever. I try to make it something else, and I try to make her laugh. If you can make a stranger laugh, you're 2/3 of the way there. And so I looked at this lady, and I was looking for a way to start the conversation. And she had this big black umbrella. It was huge. But it was a warm day without a cloud in the sky. And so I looked at it, I kind of chuckled, and I said, "Are you expecting rain?" And she smiled. She said, "No." She said, "It's so hot." She said, "I put it over me for shade." And it's like, "But it's black." I said, "Doesn't that when the sun hits it, doesn't it radiate heat down and make it hotter?" And she kind of twisted her head a little bit. She said, "You think about it, probably, yeah." And so we started talking. We had a great conversation. Very sweet lady. As we went on, there was the bus stopped, and I thought, why not? So I looked at her and said, "You know what? There's a nice bar right there, in the restaurant. It's like, would you join me for a drink?" And the bus stops right here, so you can get back on when we're done. And she okay. And so, I got off, I helped her off, and we had a drink. And it started, a nice first start of a relationship. That's what you want to do because that worked. That was the ideal setting. A lot of times people say, no, I'm busy, whatever, but that was ideal. And it doesn't always happen that way, but sometimes it does. That worked for a couple of reasons. First of all, I made her laugh. I talked about something that wasn't personal and embarrassing to her. Thai ladies get embarrassed much easier than women of the West. Um, so don't talk about them personally. Perfume is okay unless you may that smells sexy. That's not something you say. It's like, oh, you know what? I'm getting my niece some perfume for her birthday, and that smells so nice. What is that? And that makes it very wholesome. It's not like you're saying you smell sexy. But when you talk to them, find something that you can talk about that's non-personal. Maybe their purse is huge and overstuffed with that looks heavy. Whatever it is, make a comment, make it funny, and make them laugh. Then the second thing you want to do is find out where they're going, and not in a creepy way like where are you going? Okay, where do you live? What apartment number is that? You don't do that. Okay, you say, well, are you coming home from work or what are you doing? And they'll tell you. It's like, oh, I'm on my way home from work. That's ideal because that means they have free time. Okay, if they're on their way to work, that's not so ideal. Then you'll go for getting her number. But always, if you have the opportunity, my father told me when I was a young man to strike while the iron's hot. That means when the opportunity opens, take advantage of it because it may not come again. So when you have the opportunity and she has the time, and you pass by a nice restaurant, bakery, bar, whatever, ask her. You know what? I'd like to talk to you on a more one on one instead of the whole bus full of people. Do you mind? You want to stop and get a pastry, a cup of coffee, whatever, and try to get because what that does if you get her phone number, I see that so many times on YouTube, and I see young men a lot of times. It's like they're almost afraid to take things further. They feel really good when they get somebody's phone number, but when you have their phone number, it's a good step. It's better than not asking for the phone number at all. But there's so many things that can happen, especially with Thai ladies. Thai ladies like to um, they like to move a little faster than Western women in the respect of if you get a Thai lady's number and you don't call her by the next day, she's gonna think that you changed your mind, or you don't like her, or you're married, and you can't get away from your wife. She's gonna come up with all these scenarios of what the problems are. If you call her too soon, like you get home on the bus and you call her, she may think you're a little on the impulsive side, creepy, whatever. So there's all kinds of things. You might send her a text that she finds offensive or not funny, even though you put LOL. There's all kinds of things just talking to her that can keep you from your first date. If you jump off the bus with her and go into a restaurant, have a drink, have a coffee and a pastry, whatever, you get the whole first date thing over. Now it may go really well and you guys have a kiss afterwards. It may just go marginally well and you shake hands. But whatever it is, you've gotten her phone number and you've gotten the first date stuff over to where there's a history there. She's much less likely to just ditch the whole idea and say, oh, forget it. Because there's history. You had a nice conversation, you spent time with her, and she has feelings, not love or whatever, but feels close to you because you had an experience together. So that's where you want to be because when you call the next time, there's not going to be that whole weird thing. But again, don't wait too long with Thai ladies. They like to know that you like them. They like to know that you're interested in them and want to continue. So then you have the third way of finding a Thai woman. Now, there's probably 100 different ways to meet Thai ladies. These are the most effective ones. Okay, with one and two, using a older matchmaker or finding love on the bus, you're gonna have days you find someone and get lucky, or the matchmaker finds someone for you, and you're gonna have days that you don't. It's not consistent. It's not a high volume kind of situation. You're going to have it work once in a while. So you're not going to, if you're in Thailand for 2 weeks, you may meet one or two ladies, maybe three in those 2 weeks that you've gotten from those methods. Um, Most men come back to online dating. And online dating, we're going to talk about now. And it's going to take a little bit, so be patient. But it's a little more confusing. It's a little harder to be successful at. In the next video, Love in Thailand Part 2, we're going to talk about using online dating to effectively find a dateable woman with having the problems and the pitfalls that come with online dating.